Fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay? Just don't worry about it. What's that? Is what? Say that word again. A fine? Did you? A fine? A fine. A fine. A fine. Let's do it. Let's dive into AFFiNE. AFFiNE, ladies and gentlemen, is an open source, privacy first, Notion, Miro, and Monday.com alternative. AFFiNE is the next generation collaborative knowledge base for professionals. You can get started. It's open source. You can get started right now by clicking on this big, giant blue GitHub button. Okay? But before we do that, let's look at it. Let's have a view. So if you're in the project management space, if you're in the product management space, if you're in any kind of management space, or if you're in any kind of project-based thing with other developers, or even a solo developer, so a solo project, just you can use this to organize your wedding, your, kid's birthday party, whatever it is. A project, any project will fit this perfectly. Now, this is open source, which is a big deal because Notion and others, we don't quite know where the data goes, right? We know it goes to Notion's database, but we don't know what happens in that space. So not to say that Notion or Monday or Miro or any of these companies have any bad rogue employees, or bad intentions as a company, not to say that at all. Of course, that is theoretically possible. And I think that's the concern here. So privacy first. And so with AFFiNE, you get all of the things that you would expect in Monday, in Notion, in Miro, but it's all together. It's all unified. It's all in one. So that makes it very, very compelling. I discovered this on the trending topics of GitHub. I look there every day. So I go to explore, and I went to trending, and I went and found it somewhere in here the other day. It's probably not there today, but here it is. It was number one the other day. They've got quite a few stars. They have a pretty big team, and they have a lot of forks because people are ditching Miro, ditching Notion, and ditching Monday for AFFiNE. And so let's take a look at it. I'm not going to go crazy with it because I am not a pro user of this. So I tried to bring on a friend of mine who happens to have the name of Miro. So that would have been a little confusing anyways. But Miro couldn't make it, so not a big deal. We were going to do a collaboration where he would act as the product manager and I would act as a questionnaire, or the interviewer, I guess, and we would talk about this product. So, but today he's not here, so let's just continue on with me. So it's beautiful, first off. They've done a really nice job of the UI, and it feels familiar. They didn't revolutionize the UI. They didn't, they basically stuck to the patterns that we're familiar with. The shortcut commands are the same as you'd find in, say, Notion. I can't really compare Miro yet. I haven't tried that. I've used Miro, but I haven't tried the parts of Miro in AFFiNE yet. So we can maybe do that. But yeah, you can, if you're not familiar with Notion, Monday, and Miro, they're all collaborative tools to help you build your products and stay organized and stay actionable and shift things. So every idea goes through this. I mean, the last company I was with, we revolutionized the company by using Notion from a majority of docs in Google Docs and Google Spreadsheets and all of that stuff, and then the other part of it was in Jira. And the problem with that is for Google Docs specifically, you can't search for a title, or you can search on titles, I think is the only thing you could do. You can't search for deeper text in a document, and permissions got weird and all of that stuff. So I think this is going to solve all of the loopholes that the other the competition has left wide open and vulnerable. So I'm glad that they saw that opportunity and jumped on it. And great effort here. So just right off the bat, let's just dive into this. So we have, I guess this would be your brand. This would be your brand company name. This would be your workspace, similar to Notion. I'm not going to show you my Notion because that's a little too personal, and I don't want to, give away too much here on my stuff, what I'm building. But yeah, you have pages, you have a gallery, and you have, I guess, terms and conditions, or what is this? I don't even know what this is. TOC. Okay. And then you have a calendar view or daily notes, which this is cool. I don't think you get this in Notion. I could be wrong. And then you have some activity logs here, and you have favorites. This is very similar to Notion over here, where you can actually stack your pages up and create folders and trees of your data and structure it however you'd like and organize it however you'd like. Okay, so and we'll just kind of go to on the center here. So in the center, you have like your heading of the page. You have, some actionable items here. You can do to-dos. It looks like there's a date associated here. This one is already in progress. This one's been completed. And I think this is just showing this view also as this. So I think the Kanban view would be this one. And then this is just a list item of text. Yeah, so very cool. Looks like you can go to paper or edgeless. I guess that's probably the width. And in Notion, you would have full width or the narrow width. Then we have a share button, which I imagine you could publicly share to an outside contributor or bring in a new contributor or just share this. And maybe this is another way you can use AFFiNE as some kind of a headless CMS where I've seen this in Notion where you can actually use Notion as your CMS, and you can deploy web pages through there. But I believe you have to make them public. Is the downside of that. Then you have a search, and then you have a collapse where you could collapse the sidebar, and you have different layouts. You have comments, so you could see your feed of comments, and you have settings, and so on and so forth. So we'll move down to the next section here in their web page. It's not just add up of docs, I guess a collection of docs, whiteboards, and tables. You can transform any building blocks as you like, say goodbye to redundancy, and keep all your knowledge minimal in your way. Now, this is the part that I really, really dig here. Shape your page. So this is something that I believe is missing in Notion. I'm not sure Monday has this, but again, correct me if I'm wrong because I don't use Monday.com. But what I really love here is the fact that you can draw on the page. So you can say like, hey, look, it's too difficult to have a meeting right now. It's too difficult to make a video. It's too difficult to jump on the phone. It's too difficult to write this all out. It would get too busy. So why don't I just draw on the page? And I think that for some people is really a highly effective way to deliver their knowledge across their team. And so it becomes very fluid. It's a tool that works for everyone, no matter how you like to articulate and deliver your knowledge. You can do that in any style you like. Now, what I'm curious about is, does it take the drawings? Like, what else can you do with that? Can you take that and turn that? I mean, do we get these geolocation, or not geolocation, but these screen location points, the coordinates? That would be really cool. Maybe we could do something with that. I don't know. Okay, so docs, Kanban, and databases are fully functional at any place. And I believe that's the case, at least for databases with Notion. I could be wrong, and maybe that's something that they're trying to highlight here. You always keep what you see is what you get. Okay, cool. So any of the what you see is what you get stuff that you're editing, you always see that, or you can always obtain it and always retrieve it. All pages come with docs in a whiteboard mode. That's really cool. Moving on here, plan your tasks. no more chaos between so many views. Set a to-do with Markdown and manage it in Kanban. Managing multidimensional tables should be as simple as that. So we have get started with AFFiNE. Check your tasks in a Kanban view. Okay, right. So here's my tasks, and there's different columns here that says no status, not started, in progress, and completed. So this is very common in the project management software that we're familiar with. Okay, cool. Moving on. Privacy first. Now, this is probably their first and foremost, in my opinion, strength here. And because the other tools are all collaborative, there's no difference there. It's very collaborative, all of those tools. But the privacy first is the concern. I think we're seeing a lot more of that because we've seen so many big companies destroy that integrity. And so, yeah, no compromises whatsoever. But now I do have a question where the data is stored. I couldn't find the database. Is it a flat file or something? Where is it in my repo? And I'll show you that in a second. Maybe we'll find it together. We don't like cloud lock-in. Your data is always locally stored. Okay, so there we go. We already answered that, and secured. While we can still collaborate in real time with others. So wait, so my data is local and I can collaborate with Miro, my friend Miro, or somebody on my team, and that would sync his local data and my local data together. If so, that's genius. That's really cool. I mean, it's sort of, I don't want to say blockchain-esque, but yeah, sort of in that way. Peer-to-peer, I guess. Is it though? They don't really mention that. I don't really understand. I have to think about that. Or is it just like using an rsync as some sort of database sync that connects them together? But that's interesting. I'd love to try that out on, making 2 edits at the same time and see if we can create like some kind of an edge, a race condition or something. Privacy is the foundation of everything we do, which I love that. That should be their number 1 up there. Yeah. But it's no excuse for the bad experience. Great. This is cool. Moving on, what do we have here? I guess it's just for real. What is this? So you can add different metadata and different embeds like you can in all the others. Free to work with more flexibility. I think these little arrows represent collaborators are moving about and you see them work. Yeah, I think that's exactly what that is. Built for an open and semantic future. Keep updated on. Cool. Okay, so you can also check them out on GitHub, Reddit, Telegram, and Discord. So let's go and check that out in the documentation. Maybe we'll start one up. So welcome to AFFiNE wiki. That's cool. So they put all their so far I've noticed they have quite a bit of documentation that helps. And I did speak with somebody there who contacted me over Twitter in a DM, and he or she mentioned that I should reach out to them if I have any questions. Now, they didn't approach me to do a video. I got a DM the same day I checked out the library because I think I starred the project in GitHub that day, and they reached out to me on Twitter and said, "Hey, check it out. Here, you can check it out on this URL." And I told them, cool, I'm going to make a video about it, because it seemed like it was something new and trending and something I should jump on. And also, I'm just looking for something that's inexpensive, open source, private, and something like Notion. There's another one called Obsidian, which I've used. But again, I think that syncs to the cloud. I don't know if I mentioned that in the video here, but I think for some reason I already did. But yeah, but again, it's not privacy first. So, and it's always free. I should point that out as well. Okay, so I already have a project running, and you can install it through Docker as well, or you could install it through, how did I find that before? A quick start. Yeah, here we go. And I've already done this. So I went through and ran all of these commands and got it running on this port and set up this stuff and ran this command and did all of that. And I'll put these links to AFFiNE's documentation and more about them in the description below so you can all check it out. And I don't think I even mentioned this, but this is an important one too. This is all written in Rust. So I think that's great. We're seeing a lot more Rust development come through for development tools and, projects that we're starting to use a lot more that are all built in Rust, which is making everyone smile again because we're going faster and things just feel better. But yeah, so let's go over here and check this out. So to get this thing running, let's just close that out. I'm going to just go ahead and run pnpm run start, and that's going to run a few things. Now, I'm not going to get into what this is built on outside of Rust and what it's using and how it's doing it. I have yet to find out, but I noticed the cold start here is a little slow, but that's probably to be expected. It's a huge thing, and if we're storing data locally, that could be a thing. The other part about it is that a concern? Is there sharding happening? Is there some kind of optimizations happening on this database? Once I find out what kind of database it is, I'll point that out to you guys later, I guess, or you'll find out on your own. But yeah. All right, so here's my project. This is running locally. You cannot do that with Notion. You can download their desktop app, which I think I have here. I do. You can download that, but you still don't have access to your own data. So that is the concern, and that is the highlight that I want to present to you. So here's our page. I'm going to make a new page, and I'm going to call it Untitled. I'm going to just start off here from scratch. I'm going to say, hello, YouTube. And then I hit enter, and then now I can go ahead and do the things that I normally would in Notion. And that would be like, I'm going to add a heading, or I want to add, a to-do, or a number, or a bullet, or an image, or a Figma, or a YouTube link, or code, or quote, or the list goes on and on and on. And so we're going to first add, well, you know what? Let's just keep it simple. Let's just do a to-do. So I'll do a to-do, like make billions is the first thing you have to do, right? Like that. And then treat people nice. Nice. And then call your mom. That's a good one too. If you have one, call your mom. We'll capitalize it because it's respectful. And check out AFFiNE because that is very important here. AFFiNE. And so we've already done check out AFFiNE. I called my mom today, and I always treat people nice, but I have to make billions still. So we'll leave that one unchecked. And let's see what else. I can then add, what else should I do? What does file do? So I can upload a file. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, I'll take that. So this is for my latest video. I'll upload this thing. Hopefully it's okay. So it just sits there as a file so people can download it. That's cool. All right, so then let me drag this thing around a little bit more. Let me put that in the top. Oh, I think I might have broken that. This is a little, not funky. It's just sort of, this happens in Notion too. Oh, that's cool. You can move that around. I really like that. You could probably do this in Notion. I'm not a power user of Notion. I use it for a few things. All right, cool. Let me see if I can get that back there. Nice. All right. So I got my file, I've got my to-do list, and I can make a new section, but I'm going to go ahead and just make another section, and I'll put some code in here. Yes, I can do code, and I'll say, oh, that's really nice too. Oh, that is cool. Very cool. So we'll just say const hello world in equals something and equals that, and we'll make a function. And we'll have it return hello world, right? Because that's what we would do. So we'll just say hello, we'll make a div. Hello world, or I should have made an H1, but it's okay. It's not real programming here, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Cool. So why do I have red there? What did I do wrong? This probably needs nothing. This should have worked, but let's just put that in there. Okay, I don't know. But yeah, so cool. That's really cool. So I don't know if you can do that in Notion. I know you can do code blocks, but I don't think you can specify what type of code. So that's pretty neat that they've done it that way. What else? We can do, let's say, well, let's check out the Kanban board now. Okay, so now we have this board. We have no status, started, in progress, completed. And you can change these views to different things. A table, you can do this in Notion as well. A text view, which is like what we have up here. Get back there. And a Kanban view, which is what you see on the left and the bottom. And then a table view. So let's see. The table view didn't work for me, but unless I have to name it of some kind. And then maybe hit the check. Okay, I see now. Okay, so now it's a table. Let me get rid of that. I just did an backspace to delete it. So let's say Kanban again. And let's say a new task. So we'll say to do. Yep, cool. And then I'll buy Bitcoin. And let's say that's started now. Okay, cool. And it's in progress. I'm buying it now. And I've completed it. Cool. So you get the idea there. That's a pretty simple ideology, I guess, or concept. What else here? So I have my pages, right? I can go back and forth. I can also bring these pages down. So this is the activity. These are the pages. It's nested, which is nice, but I can also break that out into its own top level. So there you go. And one of the things I do, since I work on many projects, is I'll create in Notion, I'll create like a company name. So this would be like, Colorful Dots LLC. And then inside of here, what I can do then is I can bring in these. Once I bring this inside of, is that going to work? Oh, I see what it's doing. Yeah, there we go. So now if I go back to Colorful Dots, do I see, okay, maybe I should see Hello YouTube in here is what I think. I should, because in Notion, at least, it auto links. So did I do something wrong? Duplicate, open, copy link. Maybe I have to, what do I have to do? Okay, I'm not quite sure. So let's just move on from that. I don't want to stall here. But the idea would be you could have collapsible, so let's say have 10 companies under this umbrella. And each one of these could be their own pages. And then inside of those pages, you could have sub pages, and the list goes on and on. You could have boards, you could have databases, you could have all of this stuff. One thing I haven't tried yet, and I think it's important to really go for right now, is let's try to do some drawing. So how do we do that? No, okay, so right clicking didn't do it. Add view. I don't know how to draw, so let's maybe add a new section in whiteboard. No. Should I reference the documentation? Oh, or is this it? Board. Okay, here we go. Board. And then, okay. Oh, okay. Now we're like in a Miro view. Okay. And how do I draw? How would I draw here? Where's my tooling for drawing? Oh, it's all over on the left, which I didn't see because my microphone's in my way. Okay, so now we have a pencil tool. Let's go for red so we can highly see this. All right, so you need to do this thing. You need to buy more Bitcoin. Always buy more Bitcoin. Just keep on buying Bitcoin. So this should always be started, in progress, and then completed. It should always happen when you're buying Bitcoin. Okay, so then, gosh, that's so cool. All right, I can delete that, I imagine. Yes, I can. And I can navigate around with either my mouse or a trackpad or whatever. Or I could just use this tool down here, which is kind of a mini map that would bring me around in places. So I can erase. I have a hand draw tool. I have a connector. Let's try the connector. How would I use the connector? I clicked on it. Okay, there we go. Nice. All right. So then I can connect, I guess, another node to it. Let's see if I can figure that out. It's not, I have to select. I see you click and then you have to select one of them. Okay, let's draw another one. And then can I connect these two? Is that what they're saying? Or is it just more like you can now, make a smiley face? Okay, I get it. So we'll just make this little smiley face. We'll duplicate that. I'm going to hold down Option and click. Ooh, that did not work as I expected. Okay, but it did work. It just somehow didn't like that. All right, cool. We got our little smiley face. What is this little thing right here? Can't seem to get rid of that. Okay, we got our smiley face. Nice. And then I'll erase a little bit here and I'll just make some eyes. And I selected the eraser. Oh, I did not want to do that. I can undo. Okay, undo worked. Yeah, well, it kind of worked. That was a little strange. No worries at all. We can remake our smiley face. We'll use an eye there. I want to see if I can copy this. I'm going to try. Yeah, it doesn't quite work. So that's a good bug that maybe we can bring up with them. And if you notice, it opens up in a different page. Yeah, so cool. But it does work. It just sort of has a little bug to it. And then let's figure this out. Let's add another hand draw. We'll say do hand draw, and we'll make a mouth. Oh, a mouth. Nope. I'm in the hand draw part. Let me click here, get out of here, go back here. Okay, go back up. I'll draw another circle. I'll just hand draw these. Hand draw. No, it doesn't want to hand draw. Am I doing something wrong here? Hand draw. All right, well, I'm going to move past that. You get the idea. You can draw, you can write text, you can add a frame, and you can select. And it looks like the eraser works, but it doesn't erase like just this section here. It would erase the whole thing. So we'll try that again. Yeah, it just erases everything. Okay, cool. I think that's about as far as I'm going to cover on this part of it. And what I'll do then is I'll go try the share button. And I don't think that worked. Let me open up this guy here. Just see if we have any errors. Let's clear that out. Click share. And it doesn't seem to be doing anything. And is that because I'm here? Let me go back to the doc section. There's this weird highlight right now, and that could be because no, I thought my web developer tools was causing that issue, but I don't think it is. It looks like it's just highlighting every little thing I do right now. And there's probably, there's probably a very good reason for this. I'm going to reload this page and see if that fixes it. Yeah, that fixed it. So we'll click share, and share does not seem to want to work. Search does not seem to want to work. And this one does work. Okay, so then you can copy a page, you can duplicate a page, you can clear the workspace. I did clear the workspace earlier, and be cautious of that. There should be a prompt that says, are you sure? A dialogue that says, are you sure? Because a confirmation dialogue, because this literally clears your workspace. It'll wipe everything out. So use it with caution. And you can log out. I didn't know I was technically logged in, but I guess I am. What else? Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a fine, and it's pretty fine, and I can see its potential. I see it happening. Okay, layout's coming soon, so that does work. And then your comments. Let's try to leave a comment. That's one thing we did not do. So how would I leave a comment here? I think I can figure out how to leave a comment if they are working. Let's make another page in here. Yeah, see, I would expect that my pages would show up here. When I make sub pages, I would expect that these pages would show here. Maybe they can, or do I have to turn into delete, divide here? Let me delete that and see what happens. Delete. Delete. Okay. Delete. It's just infinite deletes. Yeah, so in Notion, I would expect, or in AFFiNE here, I would expect they would do it like Notion. I'm sure they will, that we would have sub pages underneath here. So everything you put underneath this child would underneath this parent rather, would the children would show up here. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to show. I want to show these comments, but I'm not quite sure that's going to work. Let's try to leave a comment here. How would I do that? Okay. And do I see it? More actions. That doesn't work either. Backticks, turn into a, okay, here we go. Okay, cool. Turn into a quote. Sure. Can I leave a comment? Checkbox. No, not yet. I can't leave a comment yet, but okay. Well, that's the progress. That's the latest update from a project I found on GitHub. And then we touched base together and I told them I'd make a video. So here's your video, guys. I really hope everything works out for you. I think you're doing a fine job. And I think this is awesome. I think many people are going to love this. It needs a little polishing, of course, and definitely you guys have been working your butt off on this and all the other contributors. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you check it out yourself. I'll leave all the links to the descriptions or in the description below, and definitely check them out. Spread the word and get involved if you can. It's open source, so make it your own and contribute. All right, thank you. I'm Eric, and adios. Bye.